Okay, so I'm Kunal. I'm working with Studios. He's a PhD student. He's not here right now. I'm working with Professor. So my topic is PII filters on tweets. What's PII? So it's personally identifiable information. And for instance, this one. So it's a tweet and it says that his Facebook team where he works is moving to the headquarters. That's California. So this tweet tells us about the person. He's probably working in the um, San Francisco headquarters, Mountain View. So we can, you know, triangulate the person down, maybe using this and something else. So it's a post PII. And traditionally, it could be phone numbers, emails, or any sort of location at all. And why Twitter? So a lot of researchers use Twitter data, and it's in our Twitter's privacy policy that it will cooperate with any organization, government organization, and give all the data. So they don't have any mechanism to actually separate the PII tweets which do not contain PII. So this is our goal. We have a set of tweets, and we need to separate them. It's simple enough. Okay, so how? So this is a sample tweet. 5 years ago to this date, I started working at Foodland, and here I am about to walk in again. So this contains a PII, but where is it exactly? It's here, right? And why is this thing a PII? It's because there is a person, then there is something which is related to work, and then there's Foodland. Or maybe it's because it's just a place, work and then place. Or maybe it's just because work and then a noun. Which one of this is the correct reason? Probably this one. But we can identify that, a machine cannot. And we need to teach a machine that this is the reason why this tweet is a PII. So we need to have a human in the loop. And so we have an analyst who teaches our system, actually. So what kind of feedback do we take from an analyst? So for the tweets which actually contain PII, the analyst tells the system what exactly is a PII and why. And for with tweets which does not, so it's just a simple signal that it does not contain a PII. This is the interface, so I can show you here as well. So it's like this. You can select, this tweet does not contain PII, but anyways, it's like if you selected these three words are PII, and then the system pops up options. So why you selected word knees? Maybe it's just because it's clear text knees, and you selected this word maybe because it is related to pray. Maybe option 2 was supposed to be pray, and it's that. After that, okay, screen resolution is small. There is a button which says next tool, and yeah. So you click this. So this rule is recorded, and it is put into the system. Now, so this is the architecture of the project. We receive a tweet, we extract some information using NLP, and then we learn a model of PII and a model of not PII. And using that model, we generate a ranking of tweets according to degree of PII. And there's a decision unit which sees that ranking and does three things. It selects a tweet and gives to a human interaction module. And in that, analyst actually gives some feedback, and which is given to the model unit, which models PII. And also decision unit classifies the tweet from PII and not PII. So here's what we have in information extractor. We have a tokenizer, we have part of speech tagging, we have named entity recognition, in which we try to recognize whether some word is a place or it's just some another noun. And we are also trying to have free-base lookup, in which we can actually know whether this thing is an organization, is it a school or university. We can go up to that level as well. And so what kind of things that human interaction module does? receives a tweet, then if does not contain PII, it's just a simple signal. Then if contains PII, then we need to tell the reason why it contains a PII. And this is a very important part where we model PII. So degree of PII is modeled as linear combination of rules. And some rules can be pre-programmed, which are the obvious ones. So since it's a linear combination, there is a weight associated with every rule. So how do we learn the weights? So during the course of interaction, if a same rule is received again, then we shift the weight upwards. And if there is a tweet in which a rule is applied, but according to analysts, that tweet does not contain any PII, then maybe that rule is bad. So we push down the weight of that rule. And if the weight of a rule is very less, then just drop the rule altogether. Now, what about not PII? So since we are not receiving a very meaningful input, we are just receiving a simple signal that it's not a PII. So we don't have a complete model for what a not PII tweet looks like, and that actually makes sense because I don't think there is any. But we can have topic mining, like if a lot of tweets are there which are talking about, say, World Cup 2014. Then obviously a person who is talking about World Cup 2014 won't be talking about himself or something personal. So we have a statistical inference here. If there are more than a threshold number of tweets which contain a same hashtag or mention to say some very popular celebrity, then probably that tweet does not contain any PII. And then we have the decision unit. So it has to decide which tweet to give to the analyst, and which tweets contain PII, which does not, finally. So how does it work? We have ranked the tweets according to degrees of PII, and degree of PII we learned using the linear combination of the rules. Now, all the tweets which are above a certain threshold are marked as containing PII, so they are kept separately. And all the tweets which are below, so some of them will be marked by the not PII module as because they have some safe topics in them which people are talking about, so they won't contain PII. What about the rest? We select some of the tweets from the rest tweets and give it to the analyst, and then we keep on learning model until the distance between the safe tweets is very less. So the entropy of the tweets is very less. At that point, we say that the closure of the safe tweets is also safe. So it's like if tweet number 38, 39, and 40 are safe, and then 42nd is also safe, then probably 41st is also safe. So this we do only when we have received a saturation state when the distance is not changing and it's very small. And so anything which is outside this closure and which is below the threshold are again marked for analyzing. So that's how the decision unit will work. And why are we even doing this? So it's because if I provide my data, I should be the one who decides what gets with it. So that's the thing.
Questions? Yeah. Basically, you told us that there's an analyst sitting over which teaches the system, right?
Yeah.
So, what kind of algorithm are you using for like teaching or learning, let's say?
I just told you it's linear combination of weights. That's it. So we just keep on incrementing and decrementing the weights.
So, I mean, you're using it to assign a degree of PIIs in the tweet to that thing. But eventually, you want your system to learn by itself, right?
No, we are learning only up till analyst is sitting. As soon as analyst left, the model is fixed, and we just classify.
So, I mean, which classification?
Technique? Yeah. So there it is. So we have a threshold above. If the degree of PI is more than the threshold, then it definitely contains PI, and we keep it safe, locked away. And for the rest, if the not PI model applies, then well and good. And if it's in the closure of not PII tweets, then it's safe. So we can give away that tweets to any organization if we want. And all the doubtful ones are again kept safe so that when the analyst comes back, we can give those tweets to the analyst and we can learn more. So it's an online process. So an analyst is also working side by side and we are also classifying at the same time. So initially we will prefer that analyst works for a lot of time and we don't give away anything. But after some time we can start give away tweets to the organizations and analyst can work as he chooses. So it's not a big deal. Anything else?
Any other question? Oh, that's it.
I don't get what is the point of classifying when the government agencies can access both the PII and not PII tweets. You can't protect the PII tweets but just by classification.
No, but right now we are not able to even decide even if Twitter wants to protect the PII tweets, it cannot, right? But afterwards it can, because the tweets which contains PII are not really that much used to the government. Government wants the organizations which want to actually track the activities happening in the city in general. They don't want to track a particular person. So they won't want the personal tweets. They just want to know what's happening in the city, what's the trend, what's going on. So for those applications, PII tweets should not be given away.
So let me add to that a little bit. So I think, because this is a fundamental question, when we started even looking at it, what's the purpose of doing privacy in the context of social media where everything is public anyway? I think that's the fundamental question, right? So think of it in the following sense. Imagine a year from now, you are going to maintain, let's say, all the tweets which are there for the purpose of understanding what happened in the society and so on, right? But there's no logical reason for maintaining, in reality, the information which is private about individuals or personally identifying about individuals, right? So if I can still get the sense of what were the events that occurred and how the tweets evolved and how the world evolved without actually maintaining the specific tweets which are identifying, right? That would be much better. So imagine that Twitter comes up with a policy that I will only give you a database if somebody asks for it, not the entire raw data that it has got, but only the one which is scrubbed out with the tweets which are personally identifying. So that kind of motivates Twitter easily.
How accurate is the identification of the personal data? Because I think that when you are processing with tweets, there isn't a formal way of speaking. Everybody can speak like a language talking to his friends, not a very structured language.
That's the reason we need actually a human analyst, because a human can understand that this is a structure which is a tweet. So that's why we need this thing. Of course, there would be inaccuracy, so we have not run any tests, and we don't know. It's just a model.
Yeah. So eventually, this is, unless you solve the full problem of NLP completely and fully understand everything as every aspect of it, there can be no guarantee in a system of this kind. It's the best effort system. Okay.
Thank you.
Good job.